Jackie, how are you today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Louis?
I'm doing pretty good. See, I'm on the beach today. Look at this. Isn't it exciting? It's beautiful outside. It's 86 degrees. You're probably wondering where I'm at, but I'm not going to tell nobody. So today we're going to talk about something really important that a lot of people get confused, and that's closing costs. A lot of people confuse that with prepaids. They get it all convoluted, and then when they ask what the closing costs are, and you tell them, they're like, "What?" Like they get, like, "Oh my God, I didn't know it was that much money." But today we're going to talk about a little bit what is closing costs, and not to confuse the two, okay? Because prepaids are things like when you go buy a car, you got to have car insurance, right? That's a prepaid item. And you got to have your tags, and you got to pay your taxes to get the car out of the dealership, right? If not, they're like, "No, you ain't taking this car without insurance and your taxes and your tags. You're stuck," right? Well, a home is similar. So when you buy a home, you're going to have your closing costs, but then you're going to have your prepaids, which are things you're going to have to pay up front, which is important. You got to pay your first year insurance on your home. And then a lot of times, if you put less than 20% down, they require you to have an escrow or a reserve. And that gets a little complicated depending on the time of the year, how much has to be collected. So we're not going to get into that discussion today, but that all depends on the price of the home and the insurance. And it's really important. People forget to shop for homeowners insurance, right, Jackie? It's like the number one question we get is that they'll call us and go, how do I get homeowners? And deer in headlights. And you're like,
what is it? They don't know what it is most of the time.
Well, yeah, because they get confused with mortgage insurance. They get it confused with PMI and MI. No, this is homeowners. This is something that you can shop for. It's very, very important. And don't wait till the last second. Do it when you're in your option period, because then you'll find out during the option period if there's been any major claims on that house and if the insurance is going to be expensive or not, and you can still make a decision. A lot of clients are waiting till about 4 days before closing, and then they find out, "Oh, wow, the insurance on this house is double because there was a major claim on it last year or the year before." And that's a totally different topic we can get into, and let's not go there. But those are things you need to shop for. Most companies' closing costs on average to buy a home is around $2,900, okay? And the reason why I say that is because I've worked for many companies in the last 26 years, and that's about the average. Most companies have an origination fee, which is going to be your underwriting, your processing, their closing fee. And normally I've seen that fee anywhere from $1,100 to $1,200 to $1,300. Now, where they catch you, okay, is they break them all down, and you say, "Oh, it's only $395 for underwriting. It's only $495 for this. It's only $295 for this." But then when they add it all up, it ends up being a $2,100 just in origination fees. So look at that number. That's really important. We charge a flat $745 fee, and then I think another $695. I think one is our admin fee, and the other one is our underwriting fee. And that fee covers every expense that we have, period, okay, other than the closing attorney. And then you're going to have, of course, you're going to have your third-party fees, which is going to be your credit report, which can only be what the actual cost is for the credit report. Okay, that's very important. There's people out there that'll charge like an application fee. We don't do that. And they can get away with it. It's legal. They can charge an application. Nothing wrong with that. But we don't do that. All we charge is what the actual cost credit report is at closing. And I don't charge anything up front, which is very, very important. Okay. And then the other thing you got to be careful with is the appraisal fee. There's going to be an appraisal that has to be done. That is somebody that's not the bank that's doing the appraisal on your home. You can't shop for it. Even the lender can't really shop for it. What we can do is we have a panel of appraisers that we have approved that we know, like with us, there's some on my panel that I've known 17, 20 years that are on our approved list. But legally, because of Dodd-Frank, I don't know who's going to get your order. It's done on a round robin. So that's something you can't shop for at all. The things you can shop for are your title fees. So if you're paying the title policy on the transaction, and today most buyers are, you go back 3 years ago, most sellers were, but today most buyers are. So what happens is that you can shop for that. If the title company that's on the contract is XYZ, and you can call Republic or you can call Chicago and get a comparison, And if you're paying for that title policy, you can move that title. But remember this, it has to be done quickly because it can take up to 10 working days to get title in, and you can miss out on your closing. So those are things you gotta be really, really careful with, okay? So that covers pretty much your third-party fees other than a survey. And if there's a survey on the property that the seller is willing to give up, it doesn't matter how old it is, as long as there hasn't been any major changes on that survey, you can use it again. In the state of Texas, each state is different. In the state of Texas, you're required to have a survey at closing. That's how we know the title company has the legal description, knows where the boundaries are, knows if there's any encroachments on the property. So there's so many important things that are needed on that survey. It tells you where the fence is, where the utilities come in, if there's any underground utilities coming through. Those are important things to know when you're buying a home. You may have a huge encroachment on your property and you don't even know. Okay? Someone can have like a driveway or coming onto your property, or they can have a major fence taking 2 feet away from you. So that survey, and I believe it's real important to get survey coverage when you get title policy. It's not a whole lot of money, but it protects you in the future. Okay. And title policy, do you know why title policies are important, Jackie?
It protects you.
What does it protect you from? Do you know?
Any liens on the home, any things like that. They're going to research that everything's clear.
So that's something very important to get a title policy. I've had people call me and say, I'm going to pay cash for property. I don't need title policy. Guess what? Any lien that's on that property from any previous owner is now yours. So if they owed the IRS, if they owed the state of Texas, if they had tickets that they owed for not mowing their lawn, HOA dues, anything like that, guess what? It's yours now. So it's probably the most important insurance policy you buy when you buy a home is a title policy, owners and lenders, because now from that day forward that you own that property, if anybody comes knocking on your door saying, hey, you owe me for that air conditioner, the previous owner didn't pay me, you go, guess what? Here's my title policy. Go talk to my title company. They'll take care of you. So those are just really, really important things to consider when you buy a house, is those items that you need to know. Okay, especially your closing costs. Sit down with your lender, have them go over the numbers with you, explain what each thing is so that you understand what's happening. Don't just assume that, oh, he's the professional. Make sure you understand where everything is coming from. So that, Jackie, hopefully I covered that. I know you probably have some questions, don't you?
I had questions, but you answered them all.
No, really? You're kidding me. So you
But
just
where
said
can someone reach you to ask you these questions?
That's brilliant. See, that's a great question. So if you need us, the Rockstar team, and this is the brilliant thing about our team, is that you don't just get one originator. You get myself, you get Jackie, you get Jill, you get Jamie, you get Tanya, who's been my processor for 10 years. You get a full team of people helping you. And if you need to reach us, call our team number or text 972-890-0048. And the amazing thing is there's always somebody on call to take that call, even on the weekends, which is pretty crazy. So the real estate business today just moves so fast, you gotta have someone available all the time, okay? But guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking this out. If you have a friend or family member, co-worker, somebody you know that's either looking at buying, refinancing, need the debt consolidation, cash out, or they just have mortgage questions, pass on our number. We'll be here glad to help. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.